Hi, welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thank you for joining today. We are doing, as usual, a timeless collective reading for the collective energies as they are. So under the deck, I stopped with Divine Masculine under there today, and then below that, Integration. So I'm going to just take the Divine Masculine card today as we took the Feminine yesterday, and just go from there. See what comes out. Everyone flipping, we'll take that one. Actually, 4 cards is probably good for that. So ending on the bottom of the deck, Coherence, and the additional 3 that came out, we have number 31, Magic, 35, Perception, and the 3rd chakra, solar plexus. So 3rd chakra, if you don't know, is the will center. It's the authority, and with the 2nd and 3rd chakras combination, it's how we access our creative impact on the world and how we navigate that. Do we feel in control of our choices? Are we trying to dominate or control external situations to maintain a perception of control? Are we using our magical capacity here to affect the will of others? Or are we dealing with bullies, or maybe subconscious bullies or overt bullies? It looks like we've all most likely come across somebody that was domineering or dominating, whether they intended it in a malicious way. Some people, for instance, can't help walking into a room and being an alpha type of a character. Now, some of these people that are an automatic alpha do so with some type of grandiose projection of energy, a booming voice, a crazy yellow zoot suit outfit type of a thing. I may have some type of yellow suit in my past, but sometimes there's just a way to be a dominant energy in a room. The woman in the red dress in the Matrix, that was just like eyes on her. So there's some type of a dominant perception here in the way that you're employing your magical capacity, and you're understanding the impact of this. The other day we did have choices and consequences coming out. So let's get a little bit more. I feel like we also, part of the evolving message has been about coming here, having to make these bold choices and bold moves forward, not knowing everything and having all the answers, feeling maybe somehow unequal to a task laid out before us, or as though we may not necessarily understand how to get to the point of our destiny or the next step of the journey, feeling in the moment like we're throwing up our hands over the last few readings. I think was more of a momentary thing, that urge to quit after having seen what lies ahead. But I feel like what lies ahead is inevitably magical. But so what we may be talking about here is fear of success in some type of a way, because of a perception of a bending of will and the understanding of the complexity of cooperation, cooperative building, co-creation. The synergy card came out in the pre-shuffle as well. So this type of coherence, I think, is moving beyond a previous perception and witnessing the magic in the moment that helps us to make a new profound choice. So on these split in the shamanic blended decks, we have the 7, the child, and heart of the sky, number 24. So I'm feeling like part of this is an evolving story about, how the past affects the present choices and how situations from childhood have led us to have certain types of, let's say, coping mechanisms as well as manifestation tools and capacities that we use as tools to gain our objectives, our goals, and the things that we want in life. I want to define objectives differently than goals. So the goal might be to get money, but the objective would be respect and status. And so the benefit would then be a sense of belonging and a sense of success and achievement. You can play with those concepts coming up for yourself. So what is the goal? What is the objective? And what is the meaning behind that? So, and using your magic here with the Divine Masculine it's some type of an approach or efforting, but perception is the motivation behind it, and our awareness of the impact upon others and awareness of the whether it worked or not, the consequences, the complications is something that was coming to my mind as well. Do I have a flipped card in this deck? I kind of feel like I did. No. Alright, so far nothing is just as I said so. Okay, we have the first card in the Shaman's Dream, number 1, the Tidy House. Clarity and organization. Did I flip that a little bit too fast? Let's check it out. So masculine can be, it's something about the image, the surface, the superficial goal, the thing that is being created. Clarity and organization. Yeah, and we were talking about some type of a perception that needs to change in order to see the next step of the journey. So yesterday we got this progression of numbers that was indicating something was not yet seen and it's coming through over the next few days. This maybe lucky break or an epiphany awareness, a new perception of how we can take a different action that is a magical approach that creates more understanding across the board, or the ability to attract multiple things to yourself at the time through the actions that you've taken. And Tidy House seems to be taking care of the small details and keeping a clear mind so that more options and more opportunities can slip through the awareness and come to your awareness. Okay, we have Falling Angel on the bottom of the deck. Spiritual Narcolepsy, 19. Okay, and something slipped out here. Couple cards. Hollow Bone, number 28. And the Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so there's this symbolic imagery of the feminine represented in the cup and the masculine represented in the athame or the sword, the tools of, I don't know how many various individuals use those, but it's the major are the suits of the tarot. The feminine receptive element of the cups is consciousness and emotions. And this hollow bone teachability is showing me this horn of expression. being able to cleanse and clear the mind so that magic can step through and animate you with magic instead of false perceptions. And confidence in your magic is, I feel like, even the color palette here, let me just lift this up just a little bit. Seeing that reds here, this epiphany white coming through and then surrounding the sword, and then that here, the red giving way to the white. It's showing that process to us a couple times in a row here. And what is the confidence coming through? I feel like that we've been getting this hollow bone teachability card because there's more to be known than what we think that is trying to be said. We're perceiving things and connecting dots, but some of the message is that we don't have the right dots in front of us, and so there's something about continuing to collect the data, continuing to do the work here and to be receptive and to be in the flow of taking care of all of the business of whatever the dream is that you're working on, this co-creation or this clarity of understanding, this new action that's being taken or wanting to be taken, a shift in conscious awareness. There's some details that are coming into play that weren't known before. And now, with this new epiphany, there's this, and we had this magician's sword the other day as well, where we come out of this empty well, shooting up through the nature of being in alignment, which I feel is this. This sudden epiphany brings in the information that was missing, that aligns us with the right action because we're in that zone of receptivity and understanding and coherence here to then perceive of a different way to act. And so in our upgraded perception, having laid all the groundwork, having come back home to the heart space, to grounded nature, to taking care of our financial security, our social security, social needs, social anxiety, these things coming through, judgments and perceptions from and to others, having laid the groundwork and cleared the energy to bud this new awareness has leveled us up to a point where we are being gifted or knighted with this sword, and this is clearing out those root issues of fear of misguided action or fear of failure, fear of success, and then this budding confidence in our magic it's almost like then we continue to spiral up. I see the spiral at the base of this as if this alignment propels us ascending upwards in some type of a way out of a lower vibrational moment into something very clear. And then there's this yellow energy right around the tip of this sword. It's like something needs to be spoken, a decision needs to be made, or there's something that has been needed before this next decision point can be laid out or filed or something to that nature, or the contract before the contract can be fully signed or before the choice is made. So underneath the deck with that, we had the 35 card here, the Lost Compass. Getting back to integrity. And I did see intentionality under the deck quite a bit when I was shuffling as well. And I'm seeing just the edge of the Joyful Muse card popping out below. So this 35 card Lost Compass is the same number as the Perception card that the Magician's Sword just clarified here. So the sword also, I forgot to mention, represents truth and clarity and precision. And so precision of perception, understanding, in the moment, having cleared away confusion and illusion, having cleared away fear of not having it done, checking off a bunch of boxes perhaps that were left undone before, and getting back to integrity here with that magician's sword. It's like belief in our magic, confidence in our magic, and yeah, we have magic on the board, and then the perception is confidence in our magic. It's like not worrying about what we do or don't know is helping us to clarify our magical ability. And then under the deck here, I had a bunch flying out. We'll just look at those. It's the 9 card, dances on 1 foot. It's this elemental fairy energy coming through, very earthy, and I love moss. And the energy of moss to me is something like, you know how they say that bees or hummingbirds react to the not bioluminescence, it's something where it's the actual radiant vibration and energy signature of the plant that they're going to pollinate in 2 things. So moss to me appeals to me. It's that vibrant green energy that's so simple and humble and beautiful. Moss to me has one of the most incredible energies of all, and it's almost eclipsing this moss energy, but it's almost like somebody tiptoeing through a mossy, secluded space full of magic, some type of grove, and feeling dwarfed by the scenery, like encapsulated in the overgrowth of trees and the coolness on a hot summer day. And sometimes I think of bees and pollination in this way when they're seeing that radiant, energetic signature. When we are in that space of being in nature in that way, are we attracting bees and things like that sometimes because they think that we are something to pollinate? Are they perceiving of us as a flower? See how there's these flowers on her crown? Under that, the medicine wheel. And the medicine wheel in this card is a bunch of animals, thunder below that. It's like the working with spirit, watching the animals move around and being almost one with the scenery, so that the birds come and perch nearby and they don't think about it twice. So these are the cards that fell. There is the Eye of the Needle, Intentionality. Glad that one popped out for us. So there's a big stack here. Let me just go through them. Gathering Around, Community has been coming out. So these might be some of the actions that you're inclined to take going forward that are going to be impactful. Yesterday we did have that gathering as an intentional card. And this, to me, the Andean cross, to me, is a card just like this Eye of the Needle, Intentionality, where the portal is through the center. And this is perhaps what it looked like before, like some type of a raised emblem on a wall, like a brick wall. Like in Harry Potter, I keep getting these images of Harry Potter throwback references, and it's like that platform 9 3/4 to the Muggles. It looks like nothing but a concrete, immovable force, and you would never go at a full run trusting the fact that you would be able to move straight through the brick wall into another wormhole where there's an expanded reality that exists in a sliver of space between realities, right? And that's where their entire train station resides, is through that portal. And then in that breakthrough moment where you trust it and you run at full tilt, then it gives way to this beautiful new beginning. And this is like the sunburst that happens at the other end. And it's like you're still moving towards this portal, and I feel it's like kind of spins you around on your head, and in order to maybe shrink the ego and expand the magical perception in tandem at just the right time, just the right wrenching of opposing influences to kind of, it's almost like that 0 point energy where you'll see images on some type of a depiction on the movies or something where somebody goes, like in, I don't know if there's Marvel fans, like on Ant-Man and those people, how they shrink as they're running forward, they shrink in the moment, and it shows them just kind of become like able to sneak through the pinhole opening of a lock opening, a keyhole opening in a door or something. The eye of the needle, it's the intentionality to make it through this wormhole and to reach out perhaps to others, to gather the tribe, to use your abilities, your magical perceptions, to see through yourself, to not take certain things personally, to expand your conscious awareness and understanding of what's coming through. And there's then many paths. That fear of failure, fear of success, if it's meant for you, it doesn't matter how many delays you take there. It may take some time in between openings, but there are always more chances to succeed. And I was hoping this one would come out again today as well. This further gate really talks to me about going further than you have ever before. Some type of new beginning, to take a new path, to take a new approach, a bold step forward. And I believe that that's the power to, let's say, get out of bed in the morning and trust that the floor isn't going to fall away underneath your feet, is something that someone said in the What the Bleep is Going On, the Quantum movie. I did watch that. It was quite cheesy, but it's a real good one if you want to know about quantum theory. I see that the circle fell out upside down in this one. So it seems that this farther gate, this bold step forward, is passing through that wormhole where we trust, have the confidence in our magic to step forward, like not quitting, not allowing self-imposed judgment or editing to eclipse the message in its entirety, because there's something there that wants to push us forward into the unknown and beyond the ability to say, well, this is it. There's magic in not knowing. And so the circle always comes through separately or differently to me as well, but today I'm feeling it as a dual meaning. The support of those around you that may be silent observers, kind of that high-fiving yourself in the mirror maybe. I watched somebody who had that, maybe it was a TED Talk. There's something here about also the curse card, having associated certain things with a specific voice in the head that has nothing good to say and only wanted to knock you down or burst your bubble or even harshly smack you and leave imprints on your energetic signature, marking your perception of self and so much more. You'll know. And this hampers your ability perhaps to step through that gate, to reach out to the right people at the right time, or take those right opportunities perhaps. And this may be something that has been in the past, and now this is something that you've been practicing more and more. But there's something new, some type of place or opportunity that's presented now that's something that has never been done before. Moving beyond the known into the unknown. and being comfortable to do that. In taming the wind, I feel like I'm talking to some people who do either energy work or work with elementals, work with Reiki or ancestral connecting, because the circle card is also connectivity beyond the veil, and those individuals pushing you forward to push you into that intentionality, pushing you through the portal, through the Andean cross, the cross of matter. Something about Mayan imagery too here. Deep quiet, meditation and stillness. And there's that hand too. And in this case, it seems more like a meditative vision stepping through the farther gate. So there is this gatekeeper energy as well. Like traveling along your path, the sorcerer's apprentice, moving into the point of wielding the sword oneself, taking that bold step forward. Yeah, being pushed forward. And then, so I feel like knowing that the presence is there is this, knowing that you're being guided to connect, guided to sit still, guided to listen, guided to take that deep stillness. As well, I mentioned yesterday that plumber with the broken pipes and not sitting still enough to do that self-healing. I do energy work, but I avoid self-healing. And so today specifically, I sat still and cleared my mind before pressing that record button. I cleansed my energies in multiple ways and came forward, and then I just took an additional time to be still and silent and to just say, show me something new, show me something that I don't understand yet, and let's work through this. So then we have beloved, radical acceptance. We had that one again yesterday. So this connection, stepping through, for some of us, this is somebody in real life that is touching our energy in a very profound and deep way, offering some type of healing energy. They may work with these energies in a different way. Oh, and we have to interrupt myself. I saw that I was placing number 11 card, Deep Quiet, on top of the 55 further gate, but it also crosses Taming the Wind, which is 55. So we have master numbers 55 with 55 and master number 11 with number 2, beloved. So yeah, this is something that somebody may be quite different from ourselves and employ many different therapeutic alchemical tools for self-healing and healing of others. But I see that there's a connection that spans beyond physicality, beyond beyond what you've encountered before. So even if you've had, let's say, a similar partnership that was productive, it was supportive, it was reciprocal and respectful, and there was progress, there were creative offshoots going on. Now you're faced with something even deeper, more profound, maybe moving away from, like, let's say, oh, well, I may have worked on something physical, like, let's say, jewelry and sales of manifestation tools or something in my self-practice, but then now moving into offering healing or reaching a bigger audience, such as something like myself here, doing this recording. It can be any type of a bold step forward, reaching confidently for more, for a different type of a goal, because there's an alignment now with the objectives, with the motivation, and how to appropriately use choice, free will, and perception to unlock the flow factor with the universal energies and the intentionality of why we're doing it. Who is it for? Are we connecting with another individual for what it can bring to us, or what we can share and what we can manifest forward for the enlightenment of the greater collective, bringing in more individuals than just being self-satisfied and in a flow state ourselves? We want to bring that forward to a greater outcome. And that's why we're getting this magician's sword. And I do sense that for many of us, it is radical acceptance of self through the bonding with a loved one, a soulmate, and for many, most likely romantic, because we kept having that romantic love card on in the layouts for weeks, on and off. That double-headed serpent again. Maybe year of the snake somebody's born in, or... And then here is Eye of the Needle. And I just heard too, as I was flipping that over, there was that Harry Potter, the Slytherin aspect, and parcel tongue. So it may be a lot of wisdom and communication is happening between the two individuals here. And I'm seeing that here it seems like a muddy color palette, but you still see that brilliant yellow of the muddied solar plexus energy. And I see this as the moment of pushing away from the will of another to get straight back into your own. So it's like that bumping up against another person's perception, pushing away, consideration, and then reconnection. So this muddied, compromised will of both individuals then being more clarified and helping us to push through some type of a brick wall moment or perception of being unable or unequal to surpass some type of a goal. Oh yeah, okay. So one of my friends as well had told me about this. The point of realization model, that must be what we're talking about here. The point of realization model, you see this as steps coming upwards, steps to a goal, and each step being something like, I want to succeed, then I have to get some type of a service or a product. I'm using a very material explanation right here. Apply it to your own. If I have some type of a goal, even if it's something more esoteric, then I might need to take daily attention and put daily practice on that and eliminate any types of distractions and be disciplined. I might need to practice acting or being in a different way. I might need to market. I might need to create and set aside time to produce, and I might need to gain buy-in from other individuals. I might need to set aside time for clients or generation of that. Whatever needs to go into it, there's all of these stepping stones. I just saw 33. Upon that self-mastery, self-actualization, ascending mastery, you move forward and up and up and up until such point as you reach a brick wall in your perception where it seems implausible or impractical or impossible to surpass something, until such time as you clarify and organize and come to the right order within the mind, the mental clarity, to then understand what that brick wall is there for. And then in that moment of expanding the awareness, you can see over that fence post, you can see over the next tread on the step, and you begin to have confidence that there are more possibilities than you perceived before. And you can speak up about those. And once you have confidence that there is a way forward, you start to see that there is a next rock on that mountain that you can grab onto and climb up like the mountain goat. It's like that brick wall. Does it evaporate? Does it become paper thin and see-through, or does it become like a cloud, like a fog that dissipates and breaks way into ultimate clarity? So taking that brick wall and allowing it to show you the cosmic flow in the center, that 0 point energy is necessary to spin the moment into such alignment that there's that 0 point energy propulsion through the center of the keyhole, unlocking the next point, unlocking the next gate. So whoever this gatekeeper energy, or whatever this gatekeeper energy is that's presenting here, is trying to push us forward to try something new, to perceive something new, to continue to keep going and to push through the brick wall with perhaps someone beloved, or to reach someone who is beloved, to sense if there has been a change that has presented itself on the wind. Somebody's got this accumulation on their mind, lots on their mind, lots on their plate, but almost just one with nature here. So there's something about getting back to your roots, back to your nature, listening to this flow that is going to help you get into alignment, get into that clarity, and have that epiphany moment here. That balancing act is kind of like that transformational moment where everything makes it through the eye of the needle there. All right, so I've been practicing getting these just a little bit shorter, more concise. So I always have the impulse to take more cards. So I'm just going to close this out with a Tao message to show us what else we need to know about making it through this next gate. This gatekeeper energy is something to do with the perception or the use of our energy and the use of our magic with high integrity and intentionality, not asking another or manipulating others into serving our purposes or anything of that nature. It's in taking those wanting to be served is the toxic masculinity that that still wants to be pampered like the inner child. We saw that child card on the split. But it's time to cross a threshold here. Like this dances on one foot is stepping across a huge threshold, that big leap of faith here. Yeah. Some type of a leap of faith here to go through this further gate. Okay. I am not going to take a bunch of cards. Just one. We'll take this one. Okay, number 21. So the 21 card is actually the Divine Feminine card in the code deck, and we have the 22 Divine Masculine up. So this may have to do with that dichotomy. The Master keeps her mind always at one with the Tao, which is what gives her radiance. The Tao is ungraspable. How can her mind be at one with it? Because she doesn't cling to ideas. The Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. Since before time and space were, the Tao is. It is beyond is and is not. How do I know this is true? I look inside myself and see. It's definitely an epiphany moment about stepping into your full potential and full power to realize and activate yourself and your own goals and objectives here. So always keeping your mind at one with the Tao. It's like being so immersed in your nature and the nature of the the path and of the essence of Gaia almost running through that divine femininity. And because of that wanting to stay in that point of luxury and service, is then pushing beyond that into the divine masculinity and receptivity all at once. So from this point of extreme 0 point energy of being in our intention, in our clarity, in our awareness, and in our full capacity and full radiance, that 0 point energy is the Tao. It's being at one with oneness and unity consciousness. And so it's ungraspable because it's the point of the hollow bone. If you've ever sat in that divine energy, it's like the epiphany of silence and neutrality and ecstasy. And ecstasy is almost beyond joy, beyond even anything except just presence and awareness and just exclusive receptivity, like all things are possible. But it says here, the Tao is dark and unfathomable. How can it make her radiant? Because she lets it. So in staying in the flow, it's important to not know and not cling to the ideas of the past, not cling to the ideas that you can't pass through that concrete gateway. Something about astral travel too, through the crown. I just saw 4141 when I looked up, and being able to explore the cosmos, exploring the cosmos through some type of pinpoint in reality. Yeah, looking inside yourself to see. Number 40, return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. So we're talking about how the masculine creates and manifests without efforting. So we're moving from efforting and expectation and demands and into the awareness and the perception of self-service, self-actualization, self-mastery. And I just love this description. The frequency of divine masculine supports a strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So it's a very passive statement to allow it to express itself. Supports our strong, focused, and active side. We're getting a divine push to move through this further gate, to approach the gatekeeper, and to make a bold statement, a bold truth to be called forward, to call radical acceptance back into the center of the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you there. Thank you so much for joining us again. If this meant something to you, if it resonated, please do interact with the channel and help us to bloom and grow. So take care of yourself. See you again real soon.